Hello, everyone, and welcome to the European Voices podcast. I'm Vedrana Vujović from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and in the upcoming episodes, I will be your host. The idea of this podcast is to show the stories of young, successful activists in civil society and in politics who come from countries from the Western Balkans and the countries from the European Union. This project is implemented with the IRI Generation Democracy Network, from Europe region with the financial support of NED. Today, I'm very happy to welcome our new guest for these episodes from beautiful country from the Western Balkans, Irisa Cupa. Irisa, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you for finding some time to be here today with me and to discuss about activism, especially activism in politics, in political parties. At the beginning, as I always ask my guests, can you describe your country, Albania, with 3 words?
Yes, actually, I thought about this a lot because it is very hard for me to explain Albania with only 3 words, but I will try to make the best sum up of it. And one thing I would say first, it is unbreakable. So I believe that my country is a country with a very rich history and have been through many tough stories. So I would say it's unbreakable. The
Great.
second word, it will be challenging. I wake up every day with a new challenge in Albania, and I feel good about it because it keeps me always energetic, and it keeps me determined to have my fight, I might say. And the third word is home. I believe that actually there is an expression in Albania which says that Albania is the home of God and friend.
Great.
So we are a very hospitable country, and this is why these are my 3 words. To sum it up, it's unbreakable, challenging, and home.
That sounds very interesting and very beautiful, because challenging times is like, especially for young people all around the world, is something that is very common, very familiar. But unbreakable is really special. Actually, I can say very special, because Albania has very powerful history, and I think it's beautiful even right now, especially in the Western Balkans. Okay, that's about Albania. And tell us more about Irisa. Who are you? What you do for a living? Something about your background. I got the opportunity to meet you, but to meet you in person. But tell us a little for our friends for all around the world. Tell us more about Irisa.
Okay, so I would say that I am an active citizen of my country, Albania. So saying so, I believe that it includes my background as well as my academic sphere. Living in Albania, as I said before, is an exciting challenge every day, and I am politically engaged in the second largest party in Albania, which is the Democratic Party. I have been holding different positions there, administrative positions as well as political positions. Currently, I am a member of the National Council of the party, and I have been a candidate for Member of Parliament in the national elections in 2021. I have been working at the organization department of the headquarters of the party, as well as the Foreign Affairs department. And right now that we're talking, I am an executive assistant of a member of parliament, which is the former head of the Democratic Party and the former minister as well. Besides that, on my academic sphere, this year I started my second master degree as a CAS scholar, Konrad Adenauer scholar in Albania, for
Excellent.
policies.
Congratulations.
Thank you. For policies and governance in European Union. So I might say that in general, I am an active citizen.
Of course you are. And there is such a very interesting background of you, because as I know, you were also activist before you joined the political party. And
Yes.
From your perspective, is there like maybe enough space for young people in Albania to be active?
Um, yes, I have been active even before joining into the political party, and one of the main reasons that it made me take this decision is the students' protest that happened in Albania in 2018. I never thought that I had enough power to change something on my own. And during the students' protests, we understood, me and my fellow colleagues and every student in Albania, we understood that we truly have a great power.
Yeah.
I believe that there are too many things going wrong in Albania, and it always has been this way. But I have never been the type of person to only think about myself or my problems. And I know that what affects me, it affects a lot of people as well. And during the students' protests, I understood that in order to make the change I wanted to see, I needed to get involved. So to get involved, to be inside the system, and through good example and through the right model, anyone could have the potential to be the change. So I think that maybe many people in Albania would say no, and this is not like a good news, I might say, but I think that since we are a developing country, we are developing even in politics. So for young people like me, I didn't come with an opportunity. I created my own opportunity by my activism and by being, by raising my voice, I might say.
Yeah, that creating your own opportunity, and that's something very important to young people, because especially from the Balkans, when we talk about young people in general, they think that everything belongs to them, some position that after graduating college, and everything else like a job. But actually, we are capable of our own future, and we are shaping our future by being active citizens. And I think it's very important to share that kind of message, and to be one of the examples or role models to the future generation. Since we are, as I said earlier, got the opportunity to be here in Sarajevo during the Democracy in Action Lab in October this year. And I realized that you are very determined and powerful young woman. Is there enough space for women and the young people in politics in Albania when it comes to politics, like for some kind of position for youth, some youth quota, or something like that, and for women at the same time?
Mhm. So I would like to say that unfortunately, if you ask a lot of women in my country, it would say, maybe they would say no. But I believe that this happens because most of us have great difficulties with facing facing with the unknown and facing with the stigmas. But I would like to underline that specifically in countries like Albania or even like Bosnia, there is always space for young people to get involved, and even for women, because our country needs us. So we are changing every day and we grow every day. So we need to create new opportunities.
Yes.
Being part in decision-making processes, I might say that we are still like early for that. And this is not like something that I would like to admit, but this is how I see it, the reality. I have created my own opportunities, as I said before, but I do believe that I still need experience to be part in the decision-making processes, but at the same time, for specific agendas and for specific decisions, I need to be heard it more. And in Albania, there are like 4 or 5 people who are holding the power, and one of the main issues that we have here is the fact that there is a lack of elites. There is a lack of circulations of elites, and this is that I believe that it is a problem in many of the Western Balkans country actually. So this is the only part which I find it kind of difficult. But to be an active citizen, and I believe that to be part of decision making is the second step. The first step is to be an active citizen. So I believe that today I have my voice have been heard in my party, and of course tomorrow my party could be in power, and tomorrow through my experience and through my activism I might be in the decision making processes, and I will be still young. So this is normal, and this is a natural process.
Yes.
But from the other side, if you come out of nowhere, and if you keep being in power for like 30 years, I don't believe that this is the right decision. And this is the main reason why a lot of people in Albania, unfortunately, kind of have a lack of trust in politics, because they usually see the same people in media, in televisions.
Yeah, same thing actually is happening here in Bosnia. I love it. When I talk to my friends and comrades from different parts of the world, I like to trying to see if there is something familiar with Bosnia. But when it comes to the Balkans countries, I think we all have that, especially when it comes to young people in politics, in their civil society in general. But when young people decide to be active citizens, they have like same or similar issues on everyday basis. But very specific for the Albania also, especially in that context of the Western Balkans, is that Albania is an EU candidate and a NATO member. How much that candidate status and also NATO membership actually helped Albania to shaping like better future, and also to maybe how that affects young people from the past years in Albania? Is there like a progress? Is there like, it doesn't need to be just connected to the like politics, but to young people in general? Because here in Bosnia, we recently got the EU candidate status a few days ago, but we are not a NATO member. And we have a huge debate here in Bosnia about that. But how about Albania?
Okay, so being EU accession negotiations and NATO membership are a triumph, I might say, through a tough process and through a fragile democracy in Albania. Since the fall of communism in Albania in 1990s, the first sentence, which was shouted from the students after the fall of communism, was, we want to make Albania like Europe. So this has been a dream for Albania since the fall of communism and for many, many years. And of course, things have changed from then till now for 32 years, but they are moving slowly. So I think that this accession negotiations has been like one of the most important parts for Albanian citizens, to give them hope.
Yeah, of course.
So because there is a point where we are all directed, and it is one of the, I might say, few points which are clear for Albanians. So they can clearly see in the future that we will be part of the European Union. And even though the process negotiations and the EU accession, it's like a very, very long way. And we have been for many years in this process. And but I believe that this is the only point that it gives Albanians hope. And from the other side, I don't think that there are enough things done here to collaborate and to go with the process, because of I believe, the lack of political will and the way that things are done here in Albania. So it is not enough to see this point. It is not enough because, first of all, we need to see and to make the change for ourselves, so we can be with dignity into the European Union. And for being a NATO member, for us, it's very important because of the strong partnership with EU and with USA, and for being like, I might say, into the heart of the Western Balkans, and in many ways, a country which it may cause a lot of troubles, I might say. So it is very important for us, and we are truly grateful for being a NATO member and for having these EU accession negotiations. So yes, young people see hope through these EU accession negotiations, but at the same time, it's unfortunate to say that we are the countries which are more affected of migration. So
Yeah.
it's like a paradox. We want to see in the future, and we want to be part of the EU, but at the same time, we don't have the opportunity to bring the EU here in Albania. So we are like stuck in this way, and it will be a long and a harsh way. But of course, that the fact that it gives people hope, it's something different. And one of the main reasons why I have started even my master degree in policies and governance in EU is because I believe that there are needed a new generation of young politicians who will be specifically orientated in the EU accession, into the EU values, and so on.
Excellent. That's really, when you say that hope is very important to every citizens of the world, especially in these countries in transition, developing countries like Albania, like Bosnia, Western Balkans in general. But I can say that there is a bunch of countries from all around the world that need that kind of hope, and there is some. It's very. I can say it's so inspiring to have hope. I usually think that when I see my friends from all around Bosnia, I think that they are losing hope. And after we got a few days ago the candidate status, EU candidate status, I think that really give him some kind of a little piece of hope. True. That actually EU will be here. I mean, EU is already here, and our cooperation with the EU is really good, but the EU political system of the EU and these values of the EU and the democracy values, actually they are not here, unfortunately. And we have the not so very successful things about democracy here in Bosnia, and I really hope that EU path will be so will motivate more young people to stay in Bosnia, not to go out, not to go to the EU countries, but to work here, to build their countries, their local communities, actually, not just the country, and to build ourselves to be a better citizens, more active citizens, more better employees, better workers, whatever. That's very, very, very beautiful. And thank you for these very great observation of what it means to be EU candidate and also the full-time NATO member. We are running out of time, unfortunately, but to wrap this thing up, what would you be like your advice to young people here in Europe and worldwide?
So I truly feel kind of a responsibility for this advice, because I always like to talk about, I mean, through example. So and through my work. But what I would like to give this advice is to treat their country like their home, first of it, and the second is that to always fight for the example that they need to see.
Excellent. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, especially the home part. Yeah, we need to think about our countries, definitely like our homes, to take care of our homes. Thank you, Irisa, so much. It was a pleasure having you as a guest and to see you even online like this. Looking forward to work with you and for the future cooperation. And thanks everyone for listening, especially Generation Democracy, IRI, and NET for supporting this. And make sure to follow Generation Democracy on Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more upcoming episodes and interesting stories from our dear friends and colleagues from Europe. Thank you.